podcast. Good morning. Good morning. It's Monday, the 25th of March, 2019. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom talk. Back in the United Kingdom, coming to you live from our television studio complex here in Royal Berkshire in the thriving, bustling town of Bracknell. Good morning, boys and girls. Here I am, back from my holiday. And have you seen the weather? Have you noticed how I have brought sunny weather to all over the UK? Except for people in Glasgow, where it is permanently raining 24 hours a day, 200 and 300 and whatever it is days in a year per year. Yes, it's beautiful out there. I have brought the good weather back with me, boys and girls. And there's more to come. I'm going to throw my magic dust. Gling! I should have a little jingle there, shouldn't I? A little jingle there. Gling! As I throw my magic dust outwards towards nice weather for the foreseeable future. Oh yes, in the Daily Mirror this morning, look at this. The Met Office, such nice people, especially Carol. We like Carol. We like Carol Kirkwood on BBC Breakfast Time. Bring back Frank Boff, that's what I say. Bring back Frank Boff. We miss Frank. Those nice people at the Met Office are predicting fine and sunny conditions all week, dear. Not just today, in celebration of me arriving back in the motherland. That's what's happening. Yes, Britain could see its hottest spring since records began, with temperatures expected to soar well above average across the country through most, not some, most of the season. Here, I think we're going to get another summer. I think we're going to have another one of those summers. How exciting is that? The Met Office is predicting these are not my words, glorious weather. Gloria, Gloria, in excelsis Deo. Glorious weather for 3 months until June, starting with potentially record-breaking spring warmth this week. Oh my God, by Thursday, most of the UK will experience temperatures in the high teens. Oh, I can only dream of being in any of you in your high teens? No, I didn't think so. The high teens won't be watching this. No, they don't like. No. The young people don't like this program. They go, does it go longer than 20 minutes? No. Is it longer than 20 seconds? You can't have our attention for longer than 20 seconds. No, we don't like him. Is there a number to call in so we can vote him off? Pardon? Yeah, what's the number to vote him off? Do we vote him? Look, there's not even a panel of judges in front of me here. No, this is old-fashioned television, dear. Old-fashioned, my dear. Old-fashioned. If you don't like it, go away. Spring temperatures could hit 26 degrees centigrade in it. What is that? Don't know what that is. 26 degrees centigrade. So it's about 80-ish, 82, something like that. Look at how sad are you? I can see you now, some of you now, at this moment, typing it in to see that if I've got the exact figure correctly. How sad are you? Whatever happened to about? The word about. You know that word about? You know the word about? Oh, it'd be about 50 quid. It'd be about 60 degrees centigrade. About sad people at this moment. 26. Oh, it's not 80, you know. It's 82.3. Better send him a message. Sad. Whatever happened to about? You know, for example, you over there. I owe you about 30 pence. Might be 35. I always round it down when I owe money, don't you? You only got to ask my mate that. By Thursday, we're going to experience temperatures in the high teens. As I say, spring temperatures could hit 26 degrees in April, thanks to plumes. That's a great word. Plumes. Plumes of warm air from Africa. Oh, they like us there. Funny how we don't get any warm air from the Europeans, isn't it? No warm air from the Europeans at all. Bye-bye. 29th. No, we'll hold on for a little bit longer, thank you very much. Sorry? What do you mean the 29th of March? No, we're going to hold on for a little bit longer. We're not quite ready. We're not quite ready yet, my loves. Don't worry, everything will be fine in the end. That's what my nan said. My nan always said that everything would be all right in the end. And then she died. But nevertheless, that's what I believe. It will all be all right in the end. Just a little bit more. Monday today got off to a crisp start. A crisp, that's a good word as well. Crisp and plumes. See if we can use that in one sentence. Monday got off to a crisp start, which will lead to a fine and bright day across most of England and Wales, the Met Office said. Look how happy I am in the morning. Come on, wouldn't you prefer me to Piers Morgan? What a miserable bastard that is. He had some Conservative bloke on there today. He just wouldn't let him finish answering questions. Isolated showers, here we are. Isolated showers are expected in Western Scotland and Northern Ireland. I'm sorry about that, gang. In the evening, showers will be confined to the far northwest and overnight frost is likely. We don't mind a bit of frost. Kills all the nasty bugs off, doesn't it? Tuesday will be a fine day with sunny spells, except in the north, where it will be cloudy with rain in the far northwest. So that's the long-term weather forecast, boys and girls. Come over here. There we are. The long-term weather forecast for you is good. And I have brought the sun from Cyprus with me today. Good. Well, good morning. Let's see who's sending in messages this morning. It's very exciting. Good morning to Michael Pullman, getting in the first message of the day. Good morning, Michael, in Australia. How's it there at the moment? Are you still amazingly very, very hot at the moment, or anything like that? I know you've had some very, very hot weather there. Good morning to Joseph. Good morning, Joseph. He's one of our new viewers. Good morning, Joseph. Sending a private message in there. Diane Jebb is at last better. Good morning, Diane. Now, I can't remember if I told you. It's downstairs. I meant to bring that up here into our Mirable studios. Diane's Christmas card, or is it the birthday card? No, birthday card. Diane's Christmas card has arrived. Birthday card has arrived at last. Only 2 months later. What I think happens is that they do get the post. If you want to send stuff, I don't really like people sending stuff in because it does get lost, unfortunately. It gets to the venue and then they put it somewhere and it gets lost. Cards and things like that. And that card was literally given to me just before I went away off holiday. So your birthday card is downstairs, Diane. Only 2 months late, not because of your fault. So there we are. Good morning, Diane. I'll try and remember to bring that up to the studio tomorrow. Good morning to Adam the Plumber. Good morning. Thank you for welcoming me back, as indeed does Kathy Conquest Forsyth Smith. Is it Forsyth or Forsyth? Forsyth. I think it was always Bruce Forsyth, wasn't it? Something like that. Good morning to Ray Reynolds. Morning. We'll be at the Chamber of Horrors tonight. Yes, gang. It's Monday night karaoke tonight at Central Station. Starting at 7:30 and going through to 11 o'clock on this Monday. Come along and join us. We have some wonderful, wonderful people there. We really do. Such lovely, lovely, warm characters. Okay, I think that's a nice word, isn't it? Characters. You know, people who are themselves, basically. And we don't care what people are like as long as they're just not nasty to people. You know, we don't care what people are like, or what they do, or what they look like, or how well or how badly they can sing. Don't care. As long as you come down to Central Station on a Monday night and have a good time. That's all it's about. All it's about. Morning to Peter Lake. Good morning, Peter. It's been a very, very long time. It has been an entire week and a couple of days as well, Peter. You're quite right. Peter's in Woodall Spa. And the sun is shining. Hello to your mum today as well. Bertie is probably rushing around doing breakfast and things like that. Good morning. Hello to Sean. Good morning, Sean. Nice Sean Riches, who is a DJ, among other things. He's still on the milkworms. He used to do milkman as well. That's quite a nice job, isn't it? Sort of getting up at like, 1 o'clock in the morning or 2 o'clock in the morning and going about your business, and it's all over and done with it about 12 in the afternoon. It's not a bad day, is it? Morning to Jason Lewis. Good morning. Bringing you sunshine, Jason. Yes, the sunshine is shining out of my mouth. It really is. A lot of people used to think the sunshine used to shine out of my arse. How wrong they were. Good morning to Chantel, who says Brexit week. Yeah, you'll be lucky. I don't think it's going to happen, Chantel. I don't think it's going to happen this week, darling. Jason's a give or take man. I thought so. It's very difficult to tell when I look at your picture which way you go. And good morning to the delightful Michelle White, who is Queen of Waitrose, boys and girls. Queen of Waitrose. That's where she is. She owns Waitrose, Michelle. A lot of people think she's just on the till there or does customer services. No, she runs Waitrose. In fact, Michelle, I've got to tell you, we watched yesterday. My mate came round. He said, I've missed you so much, my mate. Missed you so much, as he grabs the bottle of Grey Goose that I'd bought back from Cyprus for him and run out the door. And we watched the 2 episodes of Star Trek last night, the 2 that we've missed. Oh, I mean, I cannot praise that programme enough. It's fantastic, but you've got to concentrate. I've noticed this with a lot of television these days. Maybe we just don't concentrate so much because, you know, often I've got this damn thing next to me on the settee next to me, and you're watching the telly. Oh, I just have another quick check of messages, you know, because you haven't checked for the last 2 minutes, and then you have a quick look and scroll, and you look at the telly, and you don't know what's going on anymore. You've missed that bit. I wonder if the storylines in programs has got more intricate, more complicated, or we just don't watch it properly like we used to do. Of course, years ago, you know, you'd sit down in front of the telly and that program would have your full attention from the beginning to the end. Oh, God, I remember sitting in the settee, you know, and you couldn't pause anything. So you'd be watching this live TV and you'd be desperate to go and have to go to the toilet. Wouldn't you? You'd be desperate to go to the toilet, but you were frightened to get up from the chair for missing something. And you'd go to the toilet. Oh, what's happened now? We can't stop it now. We used to give telly our full attention. And that goes from anything, from films or plays or soaps or anything like that, to quiz shows. You know, Ask the Family, Robert Robinson. Now, you didn't want to leave the front of the telly in case you missed one of the questions or indeed the answers. Now we're there, quick flick up. Maybe we just watch it differently now. I've said before that you'll get a better experience watching your television programmes if you leave your phone in another room. It's hard. Oh, believe me, it's hard. My mate's, oh, Christ, my mate's got all the notifications on. Every time a Facebook message or something like that comes, bing, 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 all the bleeding time. Dear me, it's so annoying. Joanna, did I say good morning to you over on the YouTube there? Good morning, Joanna. I think the titling of today's show might have been incorrect at the top there. I think it still says karaoke. It should have corrected itself by now, so have a little look at that. Good morning to Mark Jones. Morning, Mark. Yeah, and I do think we watch programmes a little differently to what we used to. Funny, really, isn't it? But nevertheless, back to Star Trek. Yeah, I've watched the last 2 episodes of that, which is fantastic. A little bit complicated in parts. The special effects in it are really something else. The acting is really good. Great. It's got some twists and turns in it. As indeed did Dynasty. We were watching, because I watched Dynasty as well. That's the new version of Dynasty on Netflix. We got one more episode to go. So we were watching the episode 2 ago, if you see. So not this week's one, last week's one. And I've said to you, it's absolutely hilarious, this Dynasty, the funny lines. This week, it's kind of got a bit dark, really. You know, some bloke was murdered by Mr. Dynasty himself. I can't remember his name now. Who's the bloke in charge? Oh, who's the dad? Not Jeff. Oh, gosh, can't remember his name now. Funny, isn't it? Mr. Dynasty. Mr. Colby. Jeff, not Jeff. I can't remember his name. Funny. Anyway, the dad, he's murdered someone. Murdered someone. Outrageous. And then the son has got involved in drugs or something like that. And he kept talking about this bloke called George. Anyway, he's what's his name again? The son's other half and his sister find him in Paris. Okay? And it's like he's on drugs and getting drunk all the time. And he keeps talking about this bloke George, who doesn't turn up. He never turns up, and he's never there. He says, George, are you there? I don't know where he's gone, George. So then we're thinking that this George bloke isn't real. He's like just something in his head. Now, my mate says it's marijuana. Not hallucination. That's not the word he used. Hallucinations. Marijuana, psychotics, or something like that, where you believe you can see something, but it's not really there. And we thought he'd made up this bloke called George. And so it went through the whole programme, and we're thinking, and then right at the end, George turns up. And he wasn't made. Very, very clever. Very, very clever. Blake, that's it, Jason. Blake, that's the one. Blake Carrington. But this George suddenly turns up. And it turns out that he'd been drugging up the son of Blake, okay? And he'd pretended to be gay, right? So he pretended to, but he's not gay. Not gay. And so the end of it finishes with the son on this bed hooked up to one of those machines with a little bottle of stuff going into his arm. And the other bloke's got an injection thing in his hand, like a syringe thing in his hand. And he's going like this. He says, "You really thought I was gay chatting you up? You don't know who I am, do you? But I'm going to take back everything that you've lost." And it turns out it's his brother that he hasn't seen for years and years that we all thought was dead. How exciting. So that's Dynasty at the moment. So we've got another episode to watch of that. And I'm hoping my mate might come round this afternoon and we'll have a little bit of lunch together and watch that. But excellent. Excellent, excellent. Good morning to Lee Mills, who's up in hospital with his wife, expecting a third baby boy. Oh, I do hope it's going to be named after me, Lee. You would want a baby named Chris. Maybe even Reardon. He can take my name. Feel free to take my name. No one else has. Oh, I'm the last Reardon. Isn't that awful? No one else has got my name after mine. Never mind. Good luck with that. Good luck to your missus there. Good morning to Juan, who's woken up an hour ago in the area of Westchester, laying west of downtown Miami in Florida. I've never been to Miami. I'm sure it's nice there. Good morning to Ray Reynolds. Expect a lot of Scott Walker tributes tonight. Scott Walker. Is that the one who did If I Had Words to Make a da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da? Is it that one? Can't remember now. Anyway, here we are, back off my holiday. I've had a lovely, lovely, lovely time in Cyprus. The weather was amazing. It really was. It was about 70, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, around about 20, 21 centigrades. Absolutely perfect temperature. You could walk around and not overheat, and you wouldn't need a coat on. That to me is the perfect temperature. Because it's not, about 80 is my limit. I can go about my business quite easily, around about 80. Once it starts going over 80, it's too much. 80 is a bit warm for me. I prefer it around about 72, 73 Fahrenheit, around about 20. Once you get into the centigrade, into the 30s, no, it's a little bit too much for me. I mean, some countries, I know Australia's had heat of 40s, haven't you? They have that in Cyprus as well, actually. They do have that in Cyprus. There was no rain whatsoever last week. It was really nice. And for the first, Juan, there we are. Look, someone's congratulating Lee as well there. Good morning to Mike Reese Ponto, who is in Portsmouth. Good morning, Mike. Thank you for all your little welcome. I do feel, Joanna, I'm wondering if I should sing Welcome Home. What do you think? Would you like an early song today, Joanna? I bet you've secretly been playing back little videos of me singing, haven't you? Dreadful. Oh dear. Welcome home. Welcome. Do you want the music as well, Joanna? Anyway, for the first time in ages and ages, I actually got to the airport at Gatwick under my own steam. Now, usually I'll get my mate to drop us off. And I can't remember why. There was a reason. Oh, yes, he wasn't very well. He's still suffering with his chest, my mate. This has gone on for months now. Actually, over a year. He's got big problems with his lungs, unfortunately, at the moment. But he shoulders on. Sometimes he's all right. Sometimes he's not so all right. And he wasn't all right on the Saturday. So for the first time ever, for the first time in many, many years, I decided I'd get there under my own steam. Now, from here, I can either get a taxi or you can pay for the car parking. So I thought I'd take my own car. So I parked, I arranged it all online, long-term parking, Gatwick Airport, which I think I paid £68 for. That was for the whole week parking. That was from Saturday 10 o'clock in the morning to Saturday 10 o'clock at night. And that came to £68, which is just slightly... 68 is about, what's that, about 10 That's slightly less than £10 a day, which I think that's very reasonable, actually. I know it sounds a lot, £68, when you say, oh, a week of parking, £68. Try and do that in London, mate. It'd be like 40 quid a day in London, or more, probably. So £68 for a week parking at Gatwick Airport. And I've got to say, I found the whole thing of Joanne's got her earplugs in. I found the whole experience of getting from here to the lounge really easy and completely and totally painless. I've got to say that. So I left here for 10 o'clock. I left here around about 10 to 9. It was the Saturday before last. Drove to the car park. That was quite clearly signed. Long-term Gatwick, long-term parking this way. I think it was at the South Terminal. I can't remember. So you park your car there, and then all the areas where the car parking is like lettered and numbered. So I think I was in D12. So you see that D12. That's the row you're in. Okay, got that. Then you look around your closest bus stop, right? So you got your 2 cases. I had one large case. I say large. It wasn't full up. Not for a week. So I had one large suitcase and a little walk-on suitcase. You know, what's that called? Carry-on suitcase type thing. Very smaller one. And I walked to the bus stop, about a minute's walk. And there was a few people there. And within a couple of minutes, this bus turned up. Doors open. Like that. You go up the step, put your cases in, and then off it goes. Picks round another couple of people up at other bus stops, and then drops you right at the door of the airport. Marvellous. The doors open, like that. Doors open. Then you go in, up a couple of ramps. Everyone runs over to the lift. Lazy bastards, all of them. Honestly, they run over to this lift. And queues. That's actually, you know, if you wanted to take the lift, there's not a long wait. There must be 1, 2, I think there's either 4 or 5 lifts there. But everyone's got off the bus now. They're queuing at the lift. And let's wait for the next one. I can't be bothered with that. I'm walking up the ramp now. Walking up the ramp, you kind of go up like that and up like that. And then you walk along these long corridors on the old travel escalator thing. You know, that moving walk. I don't know why they've got that there. Why do they need a travelator? Make them bloody walk, dear. Lazy, but that's why there's so many fat people there. They're not walking. They're on that travelator. So we're on the travelator, walking as well. Got to the check-in. Now, as you well know, I do save up, and I like to have a nice seat on the plane, okay? So I decided, as always, to go club class, which on a short-haul flight is actually not that much dearer than the normal economy ticket. It really isn't. It's not much dearer, maybe about 150, maybe 200 quid dearer than the normal ticket. And if you haven't got any sort of worries that you've got to pay out for this. I'm not interested in posh hotel. Don't bother me. 3-star hotel, 2-star hotel, perfectly all right. All I want is a shower. I want a comfortable bed and I want a telly. That's all I need in my hotel room, right? So I spend the money on the plane. So I've booked the posh seat on the. I say posh. Not really posh. So it's like I think on these particular planes there's only economy and club, just 2 classes. Whereas on the long haul planes you've got economy, premium economy, club, and first. I've never been first class, right? So I pay for the nice seat, which means when you get to the airport, certainly at the Heathrow or Gatwick end, you have your own check-in. Okay, so I get to the check-in, BA 2277 or whatever it was. And as I get there, you see there's like 3 or 4 check-ins, British Airways, and it says World Traveller, which is economy, okay? World Traveller, that's where the majority of the people go, more than 3/4, probably more than that. They're all there. And there's a long, long queue like this, right? Long queue. People will be standing there, hour. They'll be standing there a good hour in that queue, right? There's the little club check-in. So I went down there. No one there. Straight there. Good morning, sir. And you do get spoken. You pay for this. You do pay for this. You do get spoken to different. No, I've never ever come across a British Airways member of staff who's been quick or rude. Never. Never. They treat everyone the same, but you get a bit more if you pay a bit more for the plane. You know, so, morning, sir. Like to come through there. And you put your bag on there. But I was there 30, 45 seconds, if that. Already checked in online, right? So off went the bag. Okay, sir, just follow your road. Just go through the fast track lane, which you'll see clearly signed, and that'll get you straight through to the lounges, okay? That's the other thing. You pay a little bit more on the plane, you get through to these lounges. Now, what's the lounge? I'll tell you in a minute. So I'm going through this fast track thing. Once again, through the security, big long queue of people. Fast track, 2 people in front of me. So straight through there, and we're in. We're in. Got the passport. That's all got quite automatic, the old passport thing. Oh, yes. Yes, quite good. They've at last sussed this out. Because for a while now, they've had these machines in airports, right, where you put your passport on the machine, okay, and it does, I don't know what it does, takes a photograph of it, I suppose, and then a barrier opens and you go through. Now, what was that? Hang on a minute. That might not be this. No, did I have to go through someone or not? Now, let me just think now. Where did I show the passport? No, I showed the passport to the woman on the desk. I don't think you do it going out, do you? Can't remember now. But the security thing, with the bags and all that, so you put your bag on the thing, through the machine it goes, and straight through, and you walk through that thing with no bits of metal in, and no alarms go off. Okay, sir, thank you. And then you just go and collect your stuff, and we're in. And she says, do you want to use any of the shops at all in the terminal? I'm like, no, I never do. The only shop I'll ever visit possibly is Boots. Boots the chemist if I want some like insect cream or deodorant or something like that. It's the only thing I ever buy. So I said, no, that's okay. She said, okay, just go through security. On the left, there's a little, like, a secret tunnel. Oh, I thought, how exciting, a secret tunnel. What's going to happen in there? She said, just turn down there and that'll take you straight through to the lounges. She said, it's a little bit of a walk. Okay, thank you very much. So I've come through there, spotted the secret tunnel. Well, it didn't look anything normal to me at all. I don't know what I expected of the secret tunnel. Maybe little starry lights or something like that. Or, you know, the occasional wind blasted at you. No effects at all, dear. Just a corridor. It's all it was, a corridor. So I went down this corridor and it was a bit of a walk, and eventually I arrive at the lounge. And it's all very nice, you know, away from like the hustle and bustle. Some people like it. Some people like it. They want to wander around all these shops, spending half the money they've bought for their holiday before they've even got on the bleeding plane. But I have no excitement in shopping and looking around those places in airports. I just want to sit down and have a cup of tea. All right. So if you pay, you can use the lounge. I think you can pay to use the lounge as well if you haven't got like a club class seat. So I've gone in the lounge, used the toilet straight away, and then I've helped myself to a couple of cups. I always make myself 2 cups of tea in these places because they're only small cups, aren't they? So I have 2 cups of tea, put them down there. I thought, well, I'll have breakfast now because I hadn't had breakfast because that's what you get as well there. It's all included in the price. And in these British Airways lounges, certainly here in the UK, they've always got a bubbling pot of porridge. And it's probably so cheap to make, but nevertheless, I like it. I don't like Poncy food. I really don't. And this is a problem I've had in the club class as well before. Because they give you Poncy food. You know, swordfish garnished with this. I don't want that. I don't want that. Give me a cheese pie. You know, give me a cheese sandwich. Give me a couple of burgers, something like that. I don't like Poncy food. You won't catch me at any of these posh restaurants. I just don't like it. End of. And then the puddings come, don't they? And they try to be walnut and try to be clever with something. Just give me a bowl of jelly. Or, you know, spotted dick and custard. Thank you very much. Yes, please. Or, if you really want to push the boat out, treacle sponge. Treacle sponge with custard. I mean, it don't get any better than that, does it? But no. You'll have some pink thing garnished with this and someone's dropped some peas on it or something like that. Anyway, but not in the lounge. You can have like normal stuff. So they've got that. They've got croissants. They've got toast. They got eggs, they got bacon, they got sausages, bacon rolls, little bacon rolls, hundreds and hundreds of little bacon rolls. And you go back as much as you want. You can sit there and put on 4 stone before you've even got on the plane, to be honest. And it's reasonably quiet. And it was quite busy, but it was quiet. People are quiet in it. And then you find yourself a nice, comfortable chair. And then you just sit there and there's a big window and you can see all the planes coming in. And oh, it's lovely. And I looked at my watch and it was an hour to go. I thought, well, I'll just relax in here for a while. And it goes ever so quickly. Ever so quickly. But you've got to keep watching the scoreboard, the departure lounge. Because there's no announcements in there. I suppose there would be an announcement if you were missing from the plane. But, yeah. So I'm in there, had something to eat and all that, and then it was time to go again. So you go down there, you go to the gate, walk down to the gate, and then you sit down. Everyone's there all together, and then when they call you on, because you've got the club classic, you go on first. Okay, so you go on first, and then you get there and you sit down, and then everyone else pours on there. Now, so we're all right up to that point. Let's just do a couple of your messages there. Good morning to Johnny Key. Good morning, Johnny. All right, Muzamau. Good morning to Muzamau. Mike, Ryanair for me. Never had a problem with them ever. Oh, those seats. I've seen the seats on Ryanair. Very looking uncomfortable they are. Scott Walker from the Walker Brothers has died. Oh, yes, the sun ain't going to shine anymore on Jackie. Okay. Kathy, didn't know that. Oh, what don't you know, Kathy? Sorry, darling. Oh, you're talking to Ray there, aren't you? You're talking to each other. Beg your pardon. Sorry, you're talking to each other there. Carry on talking to each other. Feel free to ignore me. You know, I'm probably just in your way, you know, while you're chatting away there. Sorry about that. Good morning to Mac. You won't catch me out with that one, Mac. You won't catch me out on that one. Don't you think those things have been tried time and time again? Good morning to my nephew, Gary Butler from KWT Television. Television for the world, the universe, and beyond. The kids will be at school now, won't they? So they're not there. Thank you, Mac. Right, now, where were we? I forgot where we were now. Okay, so now I'm on the plane. Right? I had seat number 6C, I think it was. And I'm looking at these seats and I think, well, they don't look like club class seats to me. There was no more legroom than they had in the back of the plane. I'm sure there wasn't. I was really disappointed with the size of the seat. All they've done, it was an A320, the plane. Now, I don't know the configuration layouts of the plane. Well, I can tell you that I've been club class, when I've been flying before, we've had legroom like that. You know, with there's no one in front of you. There's about 3 miles of legroom in front of you. This, I'm sorry, my knees were almost touching a chair in front of me. So I was disappointed with the seats. Now, it wasn't a long haul flight, okay? So I didn't expect it to be a flatbed seat. I've been in flatbed seats to Australia, Florida, Las Vegas, even the ones to Israel are flatbed seats. I think that's about 5 hours. And what someone said it was, I was talking to another one of the passengers, I said, these seats are a bit small, aren't they? What they've done, they've got, in the front, they've got like 3 seats either side. 1, 2, 3, corridor. What's that called? Corridor? What's that bit in the middle? You know, where the cabin crew go up and down with the trolleys. So 1, 2, 3, cabin crew, 1, 2, 3. Right? And what they've done in the club class seats on the A320, is that an Airbus? A means Airbus, isn't it? They've simply taken out the middle. Well, the middle seat is still there, but they've kind of turned it into a table. And that's the difference on the A320 going to Cyprus between those seats and the ones in Euro Traveller economy. The only difference, it seems to be to me, that they've taken out the middle seat and put that as a table. So yes, of course, you've got a little bit more space, but you haven't got the legroom. And I was really disappointed at that I did not expect that at all. It's the first time. I'm sure me and my mate flew to Rome once. Well, we did. We flew to Rome once. I'm sure we had a bigger seat than that. I'm sure we did. Not impressed with the seat. Service, fantastic. I've never ever complained about the service I've received at British Airways. The food's okay. I pre-order a vegetarian dish, which is all. It seems to be the same thing every bloody time. It's like this. It's nice. It's like this really spicy rice stuff and little round things in some sort of. It tastes all right, you know. Then you get a little thing of fruit, like strawberries chopped up, and and some cheese and biscuits as well, which are quite nice. Can't complain at the food. Can't complain. Although I will say, when they start, so the plane's taken off, you know, nice takeoff, nice staff. I wasn't uncomfortable in the seat, not yet. Remember, I've only just sat down. The plane has only just taken off, and I like that bit where it takes off. I hold on to that seat. I pretend I'm lifting it up. Anyone else do this? I hold on to the side of the seats, and then he suddenly puts his foot down, doesn't he? Like that, and then I like pull that little thing up like that a little bit, and I pretend I'm lifting the plane off. Does anyone else? Oh, it's just me, is it? Is it only me? Good morning to the SOS Gregorian. Morning to you. Better late than never, mate. So the food comes. First of all, we have drinks. You can have what you want. I had a glass of champagne, actually. I had a little glass of champagne, which was all free. Good morning to Maureen. Hello, Maureen. My niece says thank you very much for the cup that you gave her for her birthday. My niece thanks you very much for the cup that you bought her for her birthday, all right? Oh, I took a cake out there as well in my hand luggage. I bought a nice birthday cake from Marks and Spencer's and took that to my niece because it was her birthday on that Saturday as well. So I've had a glass of champagne, and I thought I'll just have one, you know, and a couple of Coca-Colas. Lady sitting next to me, she was quite nice. Sometimes you get talked to people. Sometimes people don't want to be talked to. I had a very couple of short conversations with her, and she'd just recovered from cancer. She was probably about 68, 69. She just recovered from some breast cancer. I don't know if she'd had surgery or whether it was, to put it basically, whether it was still there or not. I know she's had the chemotherapy and she'd completely recovered from that. Nice, lovely lady. Really nice lady. So I had a little conversation with her. And then the food came round, and that comes round quite quickly, I suppose. So you sit there, nosh away at the food. No television. No screens on those planes. And I was so annoyed with myself because I was going to bring my mini iPad, although I haven't got anything sort of downloaded to the mini iPad. I know there's some way of putting films. I've never done it, you see. I mean, I've used it to watch BBC iPlayer. I use it to watch YouTube videos. But of course, up in the sky, not really much of an internet. You can get... Now, this is the other thing, right? So if you're playing club class, why should I then have to pay £12.99 to use the internet up there, which isn't always that good? It loses the connection. They want another £12 to use the internet. I thought, no, I ain't paying that. Not gonna. I'll do without. Do without. You know, how many more times can you read the magazine High Life or Shop in the Sky? Times I've picked that up and flicked through it again. Maybe I missed something. Let's have a look. Maybe I missed something again. Let's have another look. I got so fed up reading those. But I don't see why we should. It's annoying when you pay extra for a seat like that and they still want £12 to use the bloody internet. I mean, for God's sake, man. No, it's out of principle. There are certain things out of principle I won't pay, and that's it. But there was a few people on there, of course, with their iPads, and a bloke with a couple of people with laptops and that, and they downloaded a film onto there. See, I've never done that. I've downloaded videos onto my home computer, like the ones I'm on here, right? But I've never downloaded a video onto my iPad or anything like that. You can apparently do it with your phone as well, right? But quite frankly, I mean, how long can you watch a little screen like that? It's painful eventually, isn't it? Painful. So I didn't bother with all that. So no television on there, no entertainment whatsoever, not even music. There was nowhere to plug headphones in and listen to some sort of radio travel. So again, a bit of a disappointment there, that in the seat. But really, plane-wise, it was just the seat and the fact that there was no entertainment that I was disappointed with. Not upset, disappointed. Disappointed. Everything else, service, food, all fine, all fine. So we landed into Pathos Airport. Quite a nice flight going over there. Not really bumpy at all. Couple of little bits it bumped up and down. That's about all. and at the airport, came through. Now, that's it. At Cyprus airport, so we're all coming down. Again, if you're club, they'll get you off there first. So you're first off there, get the little bus, goes from the plane to the terminal. Got to the terminal, coming through the passport. And this way, please. And over on there's two people on the the passport control at Pathos Airport. Two people. I thought, oh God, this is going to take forever. And then there's a bloke, this way, please. And over on the right, there's all these machines. I kid you not, there must be 20 machines there, if not more. 20 machines. So you go over to the machine. I said, well, I've not used one of these before. That's okay, sir. We'll send someone over. These are the Cypriot people now who are looking after us now. Go onto the machine, and it says on the screen there's all these different languages. So you press English, and up comes the instructions. Place your passport down here. So you put your passport down there, and then it says look into the camera, and you look into this camera looking into the camera like that. Dreadful pictures. I've got to tell. And it goes. And a little bit of paper comes out, and then it says on the screen, please take this to the customs officer. Oh, right, okay, so it's that way, exit, that way. All right, so got me a bit of paper, go to customs, put that on the desk, thank you, go through. Done. So quick. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, these machines. Now, I remember I've experienced something similar at either Gatwick or Heathrow, or maybe both of them, where they might have had 4 or 5 of these machines and they just don't work properly. Or they didn't used to. You know, you put your passport there and you'd be looking into this thing. I think it would scan your iris. I don't know what it does. Right? And they just never worked properly. And I remember coming back from Florida with my nephew. He went to the man on the desk. I went to one of the new Sparkle. Oh, I must try out one of these machines. Ah, what a mistake that was. I was there 10 minutes. Damn things. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm just saying, it's not working, mate. He said, just keep trying it. It'll work eventually. Well, I must have been there 10 minutes. And eventually the little door opens and you go through. And that's it. But Pathos, it's all sorted out in Cyprus. So I went through there. And as I came out there, through customs and then out into the main area, there is my sister's husband and great nephew George and great niece Emily were there to meet me, which was lovely. That was just lovely, that was. And then he took us in the car and went back to back to their house, which is kind of beneath Limassol in Acra City, or I can't remember what Acroriti. I can't remember the name of where they are. And they've got a lovely house, actually. It's really, really nice house. Let's just do some of your messages. Good morning to David Wilson Boyas, who says, sorry is late. Not to worry, David. We are very early starting this morning, actually. I started, I think, at about 8:30 this morning. I'm still on kind of Cypriot time at the moment, which is only 2 hours difference, but it means I'm waking up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, which actually doesn't bother me because it's nice and bright. It was lovely this morning. I got up about 7 o'clock this morning. Went downstairs and had my breakfast, watched a little bit of news, see how Theresa May's getting on. Oh, poor old Theresa. Then I turned across to old Piers Morgan is moaning about something as always. So good morning to David Wilson Boyer. Morning. Juan, my girlfriend from Medellin, celebrates her 34th birthday. So happy birthday to Juan's girlfriends, Karen, Andrea, Bedoya, Giraldo. What a nice name. That's a long name, isn't it? Happy birthday to her. Thank you. Peter Lake, when are you back in your caravan in Lincolnshire? Next week. I'm back in the caravan next week. I'm very much looking forward to it as well. I get there on Tuesday, and on the Wednesday, blokes are coming round to put insulation underneath my caravan. I thought that'd be an excellent. Wrong time of it. Too late now for this winter, of course. But I thought it'd be a good idea to try and warm it up a bit when we come back round to winter again. It all comes round so quickly, doesn't it? It really does all come round so quickly. So, as I say, she's got a lovely house. So we did she do me something to eat? I can't remember now. Can't remember if she did something to eat. But we got the birthday cake out. I've forgotten the candles, unfortunately. But we pretended that there were candles and made her still blow on the cake. her husband was holding the cake. It says, "Let's see what sort of face imprint you can do in this cake." But we didn't do it. We didn't do it. So it was lovely, and baby James was there as well. And then later on, he took us to the hotel, my hotel. I was staying at the Pefkos Hotel, which was lovely. I mean, the hotel, I couldn't fault the hotel. Really. It had just been, I thought it was new, to be honest. I went in, I thought it was very clean in here. It was absolutely spotless, this hotel. Very friendly staff, middle-aged staff on the front desk. Ever so nice they were. Checked in nice and easily, no problem at all. Went up to my room with the cases. Took the lift for the first time because I got the 2 cases as well. So went up to my room number 216. And I was on the end, on the 2nd floor. And lovely, clean, bright room. Telly. Nice double bed. The bed was a little bit too hard for me. Because I've got one of those, what do you call them? The things on top of the bed. Mattress. I've got mattress toppers, I have. Oh, yeah, really posh. Not any mattress. John Lewis here. I've got John Lewis mattress top in here and in the caravan as well. Oh, it's so soft. So I'm used to having a really soft bed. So the bed for me was a little bit too hard, but that's okay. It's just one of those things. As always, as often is the case, there was no kettle in there. Don't worry. Chris Ridden's travel kettle was there to save the day. So I got my travel kettle, set up my little tea and all that business. There was a fridge in there. So I got some milk from the shop, which was just across the road. Price of living in Cyprus, a little bit expensive, we thought. I thought. Buying food, I thought was a bit expensive. As in buying food bits from a supermarket. Actually going out to eat wasn't too bad at all. You could get a pizza for like 10 or 11 euros, which is about right. I suppose that's about right. But a loaf of bread was like 3 or 4 quid, which I thought was a bit dear. But you're only there for a week, so that doesn't matter. Got a little telly on the room, just quickly checking. There it is. BBC World News. Very happy. A little balcony. Didn't have much of a view. My view overlooked the small car park. So you could have a free car park in there. If you had a car, which I didn't have, you got free parking. Next time I go, I will hire a car. Because they all drive on the left. It's pretty self-explanatory driving around. It's in kilometres per hour. So, that 30 or 40 isn't as fast as what you think it might be. So I would get a car next time, I think. I was staying in Limassol, which wasn't too far from my niece. There was a swimming pool there at the hotel, which I never saw anyone in. I never saw anyone in the swimming pool. Nice bar. And after a couple of days, you start talking to people, don't you? Well, I do anyway. I start talking at them mainly. and the staff were telling me that they'd recently had last year, I think July, August, they were refurbished. So that's why it was so clean. I mean, there wasn't a mark on the wall anywhere. No dust, nothing. Lovely hotel. Pefkos. I mean, I highly recommend it. It's a city hotel, okay? You have a little bit of a walk if you want to get to somewhere. I don't think there was anything around the hotel, really. I mean, I must admit, I didn't really check because I was kind of with my niece and her husband all the time and the children. It was a family visit to me rather than a holiday where you go out and explore things. So there might have been stuff, but you can look it up. Pefkos, Pefkos, recently refurbished. The breakfast was really nice every morning. Every morning, breakfast included, okay? And you had a selection, the usual stuff. There was the toast, all the marmalades, there was tea, there was all these. And when you go abroad, you have beautiful, like all little bits of cut up fruit, and then the cereals were there. No porridge, Frosties and them chocolate things. What are they? I never have them. Little chocolate round things. Cocoa Pops or something like that. The little coloured round things, I don't know what they are, like hula hoop type things. And cornflakes, that was all there. And the milk was there. And then there's the cooked stuff. There was scrambled eggs, or there was fried eggs. There was bacon, there was sausages. There were Frankfurter sausages. I had potato wedges, baked beans, and scrambled egg most mornings with cheese. They always have cheese, like little slices of cheese, which, it's delicious. delicious, this cheese. So I had that most mornings. I didn't go mad on the breakfasts. What I've done before, you see, is often I'm in a hotel where the breakfast is included. And you go in there and you see all this food. And of course, you've just got, And what I've done before, you see, is started with the cereal, right? Then had a cooked breakfast, followed by some toast and a piece of cake. You can't move. But I was quite good this time. I just had one thing, which was the cooked breakfast. One day I think I had cereal. And then as the last 2 days, I had toast as well. So it's starting to increase now, the amount of food I'm having in the morning. And it's not necessary to stuff your face because it's free. It really, I know some people do it. You know what they're like? They go out there, great big pile of food on their bloody plates. And then they leave half of it. Oh, no, I can't. I hate that. I absolutely hate that. People leaving food. Very awful. Awful. Let's just do some of your messages. Good morning, Muckety Muck. The travel kettle. Yeah, it's absolutely saved my life before. Oh, can you just imagine English people watching this programme at the moment? Can you just imagine waking up and not being able to make a cup of tea? That is the end of the world, mate. End of the world, absolutely. Oh dear. Good morning to JP. Morning, JP. Yasu Chris, which apparently is hello in Greek. I didn't know that. Or lasso. A lot of people are lasso for me, I think, JP, to be honest. There is a tan, actually. I am tanned. Are you blind? Switch on. Turn your colour up a bit. JP, every morning breakfast. What do you normally have it, dear? I have a breakfast every morning. Pefkos. 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 That was the hotel I stayed at in Limassol in Cyprus. I've just lost my pen. Where's that gone there? Oh, there it is on the floor. Get that from. So that was the hotel. There was a lovely bakery across the road. And you go in there. And it's just, everything is there. Bread, cakes, homemade biscuits or cookies, cakes, beautiful cakes. Beautiful cakes. And I went in there a couple of times. On the first day, so that would be the Sunday morning, my niece came over to pick me up from the hotel. I wouldn't do that again. I don't think I'd do that again. I felt very bad because I was reliant on someone else to pick me up and take me to places all the time. You know, to get to be around my niece's house to get to about 9:30. Oh, do you want to take us back now? I thought that was a bit unfair from my point of view on them to have to rely on them. They would probably, I'm sure they would say, oh, we didn't mind. You know, we're happy to do it again if you want. But I felt quite bad that I was relying on someone else to take me to and from places. I felt guilty at that. So next time, as I say, I'll probably hire a car. But my niece came on the Sunday. We went over to the bakery and the wonderful stuff there, and we bought some pita bread. I know this sounds stupid. I have never had pita bread. Never had it before. So we bought pita bread in there. She bought some bits and pieces. And for lunch, we thought we'd have this pita bread thing. I said, well, what do you do with that then? She said, you cut it in half and fill it with stuff. She's like a kebab. Oh, right. She said, you have had a kebab before, haven't you? I said, I'm like, no, never. She said, you're joking. I said, no, I can't think of anything worse. Carving off that thing that's been going around for hours. You don't know what's in that. Awful. Mike's never been to Cyprus. It does look very nice. You're in Cyprus, aren't you, Mike? After seeing your videos, I'm going to see it for myself. Yeah, go, Mike. It's nice. Watch out for the weather. Just check your weather before you go, what month you want to go. Because it can... July, August, very, very hot. You can get to 40 at there, so you might want to avoid that, okay? If you go now, it's lovely, and it's not too busy at the moment. The mad rush of holidays makers hasn't started yet. Okay? So, yes, and for lunch, I bought this. It was a halloumi. It's like a halloumi long thing. It's like, I don't know what you call them, really. You know, like, say you got a bit of halloumi cheese and it was wrapped in pastry. Quite large, quite thick. So I bought one of those for my lunch along with the pita bread, which my niece was going to put in there. Chopped up tomatoes, onions, a little bit of cheese and stuff like that, a bit of lettuce, which we had that afternoon. It was absolutely delicious. And in this like bakery, of course, you've got the shop part of it. And behind it, fellas kept coming out with more stuff. You know, that they'd obviously just cooked and they come out with this stuff on trays and start putting it into shelves. Rows and rows of big loaves of bread. Rows of it. And as we drove around between I can't think of the name, Aqua City, something like that. As we drove between Limassol and Pathos and places like that, it became obvious to me, these bakeries are all over the place. There's loads of them. Now, we don't really have that here anymore. We do have the excellent Greggs the Bakers, don't we? But you must remember everything is centralised there. So it's all sort of cooked or made to cook on, if you see what I mean, in one or two places, and it's sent out to the various branches, you know. So it's all the same. We used to have in this country little bakers like that who would have a bakery out the back and they'd make all their own bread, and you'd go, oh, well, we want to get our bread from here because we like it there. You can't really do that here anymore. It's all very well having a bakery at the back of a supermarket or even Greggs, right? It's not the same. Now, where my sister lives, in Woodhall Spa, which is very close to where my caravan is, there is such a place there. And it's a very, very busy shop. All these cakes, little gingerbread man and strawberry things and sweets and bread and rolls, and it's everything is there. Well, it's just like that, except even better, I would say, in Cyprus. These little bakers, I say little, they're large shops. They are large places, not little like Greggs or anything like that. As I say, there's nothing wrong with Greggs. I like Greggs. I like the vegan sausage rolls. They're quite nice, right? These are big, big places. And they've got an entire team of staff there. The boys, and there always seem to be boys cooking the stuff at the back, and they bring it through these doors and that, and put it all. Fantastic! You've got to visit some of these bakeries, and you won't have to look far. They're everywhere. Bakeries, and the other thing was pharmacies. We seem to keep seeing bakeries and pharmacies all over the place. So, yeah, try that if you go to Cyprus, Mike. You must look around for some of those bakeries. Just going back to that hotel again. One day, my niece and her husband, I said, come to the hotel, we'll have breakfast. I'll get you breakfast. Oh, no, you don't have to pay for us. I said, I want to. Anyway, so one night, as I came in, I went to the girl on the desk, night staff. Oh, I want to get my niece and her husband breakfast tomorrow morning. How do I pay for that? She said, oh, just come in the morning and let them know on the front desk you want to take them in for breakfast, and that'll be fine. She said, I think it's about €10, maybe 15 or something like that. I said, that's okay. I said, can I pay you now? She said, no, do it tomorrow morning when they come in. Okay. Right, so next morning they turn up, don't they? About 9 o'clock in the morning. And, all right, I'll just come to the front desk. So I've gone to the front desk, and it was an older bloke this time, bald-head, about 45, I suppose he was. I said, good morning. He said, good morning, sir. How are you today? I said, all right, in foreign accent, not me, him. I said, oh, that's my niece and her husband over there who I'm visiting while I'm here. I'd like to take them in for breakfast. How much is that, please? I've got my wallet out. And he says, those two over there, is it? And I said, yes. He said, oh, nice family holiday. And he put his hand on my shoulder. Please, go straight through on the house. How nice is that? Now, listen, you English people who have places, that is what you call customer service. I didn't expect that. Perhaps it's the very fact that I didn't try and skank a couple of people in and get a free meal. Maybe it's the fact that I went to the front desk and offered the money, which I'm quite happy to pay, 20 quid, 25 quid for two people to have breakfast. As I say, it's a nice breakfast you heard me talking about at the beginning. Lovely breakfast. But no, put his hand on my shoulder. He said, please go through on the house. How nice is that? If only English people would be like, if only British Airways were like that a bit. Charging extra to use the bloody internet on there. I suppose, in the grand scheme of things, to give out 2 free breakfasts. And the breakfast was 7 till 10. It's now about 9:30. So I suppose, this would be what's left. But I used to go down. But that's neither here nor there. They gave me 2 free breakfasts, which I did. I was very, very impressed with this. Pefkos Hotel. Have a look. Pefkos. Pefkos Hotel. So they went through and, just because it's free doesn't mean they go mad. They're very well behaved, my niece and her husband. Sometimes the children are well behaved as well. Not always. So they went through and we had a nice breakfast together. Sitting there, we stayed inside. You could eat by the pool if you want, but we stayed inside by the window and very relaxing. Yeah, really, really nice. So that was the breakfast. Let's have a look. Most days I spent with my niece most of the time. And 2 or 3 days I went to pick the children up from school. They do different school times. They're 7:30 a.m. until 1 in the afternoon, which I quite like the idea of that. You all finish by 1 o'clock or 1:30 in the afternoon, one of the two. And a couple of times I went with my niece to pick up the children from school. And baby James now does a couple of days at nursery. And going to pick him up from... it's all this security, dear. Oh my God, you have to push a button, a little camera sees who you are. Maybe she speaks to you and then pushes a button, the door opens, and then people on the front desk and all that. All very secure, I must say. A little bit over the top. I thought it was a bit over the top. My niece didn't think it was over the top, and it was the same picking up the other 2 from primary school. Great nephew George and great niece Emily. Again, you go through, it's all very secure. When the children come out of the class at 1:30, this is the older 2, right? The teacher literally stands at the door and then looks for the parents. They won't let the children out. They look for the parents. So they see my niece. Okay, Emily, off you go. Or, okay, George, off you go. And then they let them out, one at a time. I remember being at primary school. That bell went off. We were out that bloody door. Couldn't wait to get out. Not anymore. Oh, no. Very, very secure. And... my niece likes that. She says it's the same here in England now. So, of course, I haven't been to primary school for years, so I don't know this. But she says it's the same in the UK now. Literally, a teacher will stand outside the front door. I don't know, presumably up to a certain year. I can't believe they get to like 12 and 13 and there's still someone letting them out then. Surely not. But I don't know. I haven't been in a school for years, so I don't know. But the teacher lets them out one at a time, and if the parents they can't see the parent, they wait in the classroom. They got to wait, and we, when I was at school, bell would come, we'll charge out that door and go on our various ways home. Mum would be out there somewhere, up to a certain point, and then you started walking home. I thought the security was a bit over the top for the schools, but my niece says she doesn't agree. She says, no, we need this these days. Are there more pedos about more than there used to be? And people like that, murderers and stuff like that? Or do we just hear about it more? I don't know. I thought it was a bit over the top. But there we go. That's how it is. So we went to pick up the children a couple of times. And when I went to the nursery with my niece again to pick up baby James, so we went in the classroom. Again, so many doors. You've got push numbers and magnetic doors and all that business that you can't get in or out of. And I went into the classroom and I'm having a little look around. And it's all these little tiny tables that high. Do you know what I mean? And the chairs. Little chairs going under there and little coat hooks that are like that high. and then just next to them was the little toilets, tiny little toilets like that they were. I thought, a good job I won't have to use one of those. My bum would be hanging over the sides of these little boys' toilets, little girls' toilets. So funny. And of course, all the other little the tables where they all work, they're really low down. Of course they are. They're little people, aren't they? So they know. Morning to Roy Brownlow, who has sneaked back into the country then. I just managed to get past the security there. Juan says, millennial thinking is that they are preferred and anyone ought to always shower them and spoil them. A bunch of weenies, winners, la and land dreamers. I kind of agree with you, Juan, about all this security. I mean, how much cotton wool can you put around a child? That's a thing. But, as I say, talking to my niece, this is completely normal. This is how it is now. It's so long since I've been to a school, that I don't know. Last time I was in a school I was about 32 and I went back to my secondary school, met up with the headmaster and took us around the school. So that's like 25 years ago now. Primary school, well, I don't think I've been in a primary school. Oh, hang on, no. When I'm at the caravan, sometimes I go to the school where my great nieces and nephews are there in Kirkby-on-Bane. That's a lovely little school, that is. And I've gone there with either my nephew or my niece to meet the children from school as they come out there. So I've been in there, but not actually in a primary school. I haven't been in that one. So I think that must be the first time I've been in a primary school since I was about 10 years old. But there you go. That's how it is now. They're completely used to that. Morning to Michael Lawrence. Good morning, Michael. Hello, sir. Hello, Michael Lawrence. Who else is there? Oh, I just saw another name. Oh, Christopher Ireland. Good morning. He says it's all after the Dunblane shooting. It's all secure, plus all the other incidents in America. Yes, I guess it's all over the world now. The way that children come out of school now. All I remember is piling out of that school when the bell went and we'd all go home. Some of us would walk home. I remember walking home when I was walking to and from school, 9 years old. Well, we used to have a good 20 minutes, half an hour walk along Roehampton Lane. We used to live in Roehampton in southwest London when I was a child. We'd be walking home on our own, walking home from school, 9 years old. Nothing would happen. Very, very different now, isn't it, really? Oh, well. One thing that was a problem over there was the mosquitoes. Now, I gather this is the mosquito... Oh, I dropped my pen. This is the mosquito time. They're not there all the time, mosquitoes, but they certainly were while I was there. And so the first day I was there, my niece gave me this stuff and I put it on, and that was fine. Didn't seem to be a problem at all. The next day, because my great nephew and great niece, they're very active. They belong to like football clubs and rugby clubs and stuff like this. So we went over this field. Oh my God. And I bought my own stuff, right, which I'd put on in the morning before I left the hotel about 9 o'clock. Well, it's now 3 PM, okay? And we've gone over and George is playing football. And Emily, great niece Emily and my niece, we're kind of on she's on this little scooter and we're having fun like this. These mosquitoes were all over the place and they kept landing on me. And I didn't really take any notes. I just kind of brushed them off like that, right? And then the day went on and I didn't think anything else of it. And then that night I went into bed and I got into my bed and my legs were really hot. Why are my legs? And they start itching. And I've looked down and there's all these red bites on my legs. And I had a load of it. And that was an unpleasant experience. I looked in my little first aid thing. I got the spray stuff. Pss, pss, and then I ran out of the stuff, didn't I? Oh, ran out of the spray stuff. So I'm in bed and I had trouble sleeping that night. I really, because of course, it's like your legs are burning. Awful. There's so many bites on there. They were burning, so itchy. So I rang down to reception and I said, have you got any insect? Oh, I'll have a look. Anyway, he rang back. He says, I'm really sorry. I haven't got any here. And it's like 11 o'clock at night. There's nothing open now. It was a 24-hour shop next door, but he didn't sell anything like that. So I then went to the bloke on the reception, rang me back. He says, I haven't got any stuff down here, I'm afraid. But he said, if you put some vinegar on it, He said, have you got any? I said, well, no, I haven't. He said, okay, come down to the front desk. He says, I'll give you some vinegar and some cotton wool. So I went down to the front desk, give me some vinegar and cotton wool. I thought, well, how's this going to work? Anyway, I put it on. Yes, it worked. It worked. It wasn't bad at all. The only thing is, after 2 or 3 hours, you'd wake up and you'd be itching again. So literally, I think I woke up about, because I was going to bed early there, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So I'd wake up and put this stuff on my legs, cover all the little bites and all that in the, not onion, in the vinegar. And that was fine. That was fine. So that was sorted. And then the next morning, I went over to the chemist and I bought this special little cream in a tube. And you put that on. Oh, fantastic. Took all the itching away straight away. So I had a couple of days where I had to put that on. And then I read the instructions on the other Mosquito, the one you put on before you get bitten, which I'd bought the day before. It was a natural product, very lemony. Lovely smell, actually. And it said you must apply this every 4 hours. And, of course, what I'd done that day is put it on at 9 o'clock in the morning. I didn't put any more on. So that's why I was attacked by the mosquitoes. But nasty little bastards. Oh, they're horrible things. And you see them. You don't always feel them land, do you? You see them. And they kept attacking baby James as well. We were kind of brushing off the flies off him all the time. But it was all right. And that's it, really. We only went out for dinner twice. Once we went out to TGI Fridays. Costing there about average for TGI Fridays, really. It's funny how you would go not halfway across the world, but to a foreign country, and you go to TGI Fridays. You should have gone to a Cypriot restaurant or something like that. On the last day, obviously my plane was going from Pathos airport, so we spent a day in Pathos. They arrived at my hotel. Everyone was in the car. My niece and the 3 children, her husband and me. They sat me in the front. I said, I'll sit in the back. And my niece was quite insistent on sitting in the back, right in the back. So I sat in the front with my brother-in-law. And we went to Pathos, which was about 45 minutes drive from Limassol, where I was staying. And we spent the day in Pathos, which I must say I preferred to Limassol. I think I prefer Pathos to Limassol. Mind you, see, I wasn't on the beach. I was in Limassol, like kind of in the town, city-ish area. I would have, next time I would get a hotel by the beach with free car parking. That's what I'd do next time. And Pathos, I really quite liked Pathos along the coast there. Big difference, very, very English. Virtually everyone that was walking up and down that sort of promenade bit in front of the hotels, as you've got the sea, promenade, I suppose you call it a promenade, and all the big hotels with swimming pools and all that, facing outwards like that. And I think I preferred Pathos to Limassol. That was really nice. We had some time on the beach there, walking along, and we had a pizza there that was more sort of reasonably priced than TGI Fridays. So we had a pizza there, an ice cream on the way back. Pathos is lovely, really, really nice. And then back to the airport. Now, coming home, no business lounge, no fast check-in, nothing. So basically, you just queue up with everyone else, and not as nice as his experience coming back. I must admit. For some reason, British Airways, they've got lounges all over the place, not in Pathos. There is a lounge there, which you can pay to go in. And I did see it, and I thought, I might pay. Then I looked at my watch, and it was only an hour to go before the plane was. I'll just have a little look around there. Pathos Airport, nothing there. There's one duty-free shop, a few like sweetie shops, newspapers, that sort of thing. That's about it. There's no electronic shop if you want anything like that. But then I spotted outside smoking area. So I thought, I'll sit outside because it's nice and warm. So I left the airport. And there was a little bar area, so I got myself a cup of tea. Decent cup of tea as well. Very, very shocking. Got myself a cup of tea from there, and just sat there and watched the planes. We're right next to the runway. Watched the planes coming to and fro. Kept an eye on the thing, and then the board comes up, flight time. So I went to the gate. They did get us on the plane first, so that was all right. I think there was a club check-in. There was a club check-in at Pathos, so Euro Traveller and Club, but the queue to that was quite long for some reason, so I was standing there for a while. And then back on the plane, which was the same plane as going out there, you know, no entertainment and no legroom in the business class seat. Was it worth paying for the business upgrade on this particular flight? Debatable, really. Debatable. I pay a bit more because I want a comfortable seat. I didn't have any much more of a comfortable seat than the people in Euro Traveller. It was almost identical. Certainly no more legroom. I'm sure there was no more legroom. Okay, there wasn't someone sitting right there. So that is a good thing. Yeah, because you don't want someone sitting there. Yeah, and let's be honest, you don't have to be big to be pushed up against someone like that. You know what I mean? I find it a very unpleasant experience. So yes, you do have a little bit more room there. And of course, you've got the fast check-in certainly coming out there. You've got the lounge at Gatwick, which is very, very nice indeed. Debatable. It was certainly it wasn't completely uncomfortable, but it was the more uncomfortable seat that I have been on a British Airways plane. Perhaps it was the type of plane, as I say, it was an A320. Whether that makes a difference, if it had been a different type of plane, I don't know. You probably would have had to go with a different airline, I suppose, to get a different type of plane. I don't know. That's the configuration of it, isn't it? All right, so that was it. Okay, let's go to some of your messages there. Roy says, when Chris was at school, there was no history, just current affairs. That's a good one, Roy. I went to school before history was invented. Good morning to Julian Clark. Morning, Julian. Juan. He would walk to and from the Immaculate Conception Grammar School in Astoria, Queens, where since last year the nuns have been removed and transferred out to pasture, have they? You don't see many nuns around now, do you, Juan? Never see nuns. You used to see groups of nuns all over the country walking around. You don't see them anymore, do you? Shame, really. Roy says, you've now polluted the mozzies now over there after biting you. There's a lot of dead mozzies over there after biting me, I tell you that now. Mike is 58 and remembers back to the late 60s, early 70s. Walking to and from the school on my own. No problems whatsoever. How times have changed. They have. They absolutely have. Muckety muck. Vinegar works. Yes, it does. On insect bites, if you've got no ointment or anything like that, try white vinegar. I don't know if the other vinegar would do the same, but all you've got to do is just get a little bit of cotton wool or some tissue, dip it in the vinegar and put it on your bite. It stops itching instantly. It's really good, okay? Juan, mosquitoes killed more American military personnel during the Spanish-American Wars. I'm not surprised. Evil things they are. Evil things. Pathos is very English, says Muckety Mark. Yeah, I mean, the holiday area. You know, as you're walking up and down the beach, very English. Virtually everyone there, you know, you could hear them talking. They were all English, all of them. I suppose that's because it's an air like going to London. You meet a lot of foreign people in London. Why? Because they're on holiday. That's how it is. Air Europe begins flights very soon. I don't know Air Europe. Ants in Roy's front room this morning. The summer must be here. It will be. We're looking for a very good spring. We were talking about the weather right at the beginning of the show, Roy. I was given an updated weather report for the weeks ahead. So wait till we're finished and then you can go back there, okay? Good. Hardly ever any nuns in America. No, don't see them anymore. Good morning, Tay. Good morning, Tay. Oh, I'm glad you all enjoyed the short videos we did while we were there. Just a little bit of fun with the old camera, really. Short videos, 1 minute long. That carries on, doesn't it? If you want to see the short videos and you're not on the Facebook, you can go on the Instagram. My username there, as well as for everything, is Chris Reardon UK. So Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, it always finishes Chris Reardon UK. All right? Tay says vinegar works for burns as well. I didn't know that. Didn't know that. Roy, a lot of foreigners on here today. Where's all the Brits like Ray and Ronnie? Ray was here earlier. He's probably gone out. Ray goes out after a while. He has enough of me, didn't you? All right. Let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls. Then we are disappearing. I've been here nearly an hour and a half today, haven't I? What's the time? Good God, look at that. Nearly an hour and a half. I'll do today's birthdays and yesterday's birthdays. Of course, if it was your birthday while I was away, sorry, wasn't here to do them. Well, I can only go back one day because it doesn't show me who was before. So here we go. Tony Freddie UE. Morning, Tony. He's a young dad. 28 years old today is Tony. Good morning, Tony. Happy birthday to you, sir. Janaka. Good morning, Janaka. Happy birthday to you. 32 years old. Lovely photo there of you and a little baby I think you got there. Don Stevens. Good morning, Don. Happy birthday to Don Stevens. Jeremy Pefkos Way. Good morning. 37 years old today on this Monday, the 25th of March 2019. And yesterday's birthdays we have for Sunday, David Chauffeur. Have I said that right? Chauffeur. I quite like that. It's like a kind of a foreign accent there. Chauffeur. David Chauffeur. Happy birthday, David. Dominic Mutua was 53 years old yesterday. Good morning, Dominic. Happy birthday. That's a lovely photo of you there. Really nice photo. Bertie Ween was 24 years old yesterday. Chris Strickland was 57 yesterday. Love the hat, Chris. Love that. Yeah, he's a cowboy. John Boyce, good morning. 49 years old yesterday. Jim McGurk. Happy birthday for yesterday. Kevin Lane. Morning, Kev. Morning, Kevin. He was 43 yesterday. God, it's years since I saw you. It must be 25 or 30 years since I saw you. Happy birthday, Kevin. Annie Mills. Oh, she's lovely. Singer extraordinaire. Annie Mills. Happy birthday. Worked with her a couple of times. Lovely lady. Michael Phoenix. Their birthday yesterday. Good morning. Happy birthday. And Chris Moses from CMP. He is a computer pro. He writes programs and all that sort of very intelligent. Far, far more intelligent than me. Most people, I think, you find are more intelligent than me, actually. They really are. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Okay. Let's have a look here. We are. Mike, Roy, how rude. Chris's show is international, don't you know? It is very international, dear. Like my karaoke nights are international. If you come from another country, I'm doing one tonight. What are you doing tonight, boys and girls? That's where I am. Hosting karaoke at Central Station Bar, 37 Wharfdale Road, King's Cross in London. It's free to come along. Come and sing us a song, sing a song, sing out loud, sing out strong. You coming tonight? Monday night karaoke tonight at Central Station in North London from 7:30 p.m. Thank you very much for joining us for the show today, boys and girls. It's a real pleasure to be back with you. I've got to cut the grass as well today. A few little bits and pieces to catch up. I've already done my washing. Oh, yes. Done it all yesterday. I was very nervous at playing the organ yesterday. Very, very nervous. Because, of course, I hadn't really had a chance to practice hymns, but it came off all right. Not only that, I found on like the organ I play at the church, right, there's loads of... Organs used to have stops and you'd pull them out to get a different sound. It might be a flute, you pull it out. Now they have buttons. They have had for years. And they're kind of, I say buttons, they're more like levers, you know, like things that stick out like that. And you push that down, pull that down, pull that down, pull that down. And you can pull down as many or as few as you want. So each button is generally an instrument unless it's doing something else, right? So you pull about flute, oboe, clarinet, like that. I tend to play fast and loud. I don't want to be out of place or anything, if you see what I mean. I don't want to make a point of being there. It's just how I play it. I just feel it should be rousing most of the time, and at other points, sort of fairly quiet. Communion hymns, fairly quiet, nice and soft, right? First hymn of the day, loud and rousing. Last hymn, loud and rousing. On those keys, there's a couple of them that are written in red. So it might say oboe in black, clarinet in black, and then it said trumpet, and that was written in red. And I haven't used these before, but I got there early and for 11 o'clock mass. I was there at like 5. In fact, they were still coming out of the car park from the 9 o'clock mass. And I thought, I got up there and I thought, I'm going to try one of these red ones. Well, I pushed this red one and played a car. Oh my God, it's so loud. So I found a way to make it even louder now. And let me tell you, the last hymn yesterday, and there is a point to this actually, because if you play the organ loud, they will sing louder. That is a fact. If you're a little bit, quiet and slow, people don't sing. They want something rousing. It's like these people that sing bloody ballads at the karaoke. Badly, most of them. Most people sing ballads badly at karaoke. I'm sorry, it's a fact. You may think you sound fantastic. It doesn't. And you can see the faces on the audience at a karaoke night when someone comes up and does one of those awful ballads like Hero, Mariah Carey. The faces drop like that. You can, if you sing a nice, upbeat, fast song badly, they probably won't even notice that you're singing it badly. Because it gets everyone going. It doesn't matter how bad you are. That's why I choose upbeat songs. I haven't got a fantastic voice. Not at all. I pretend that I do. You may have seen, if you've seen any of the karaoke streams, I do play on them myself. Basically, everything I do is a complete send-up of myself. You know that, don't you? I like to send myself up. I do. I like to send myself up. Right? And so usually I sing a karaoke song and I'll stand there. Come on, give me some more applause. Right? And then I'll say something like, you do realise that's probably the highlight of your week, what you just saw there, me singing. And stuff like that. Of course, I don't mean any of it. There's always going to be some people who does he think he is? They don't get the joke, you see. They don't get the joke. I find that even funnier. But if you sing an upbeat song, even if you can't sing a bloody note, they will enjoy it. If you sing a ballad quietly or out of tune, they will notice it. Well, it's the same at the church. If you play the organ at a reasonable speed, loud, it will entice people to sing. Although the last hymn this week, I was playing it so loud I couldn't hear anyone singing. All these red buttons I had down. I know, terrible. Good morning to Ross, who says he's got 3 loads of washing out yesterday, all dry. Yeah, mine will be dry now. I didn't take it in last night. I got just a little bit of washing to do, but that's some washing from before I even went away. Ross says it's cold and windy here. You can't be really. It's beautiful here. Let me see if I can show you at the window. 1 minute. What is that camera? 3. Can you see that? There you go. You can just about see it. Look how bright that is out there. Look at that, Ross. What a shame. What a shame you live in Norfolk. Norfolk. It's lovely here today. Really is. Juan, that's okay. Thank you very much. Mike is English, even though I have a French surname. Bonsoir, Lemike. All right, I'm going now. Thanks ever so much for joining us today, boys and girls. As I say, pleasure to be here with you once again. I really enjoyed this morning. Hopefully, again, I'll see you at some point tomorrow. Have a lovely Monday, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.